Hi everybody, thanks for joining Create with Dee. Today I'll share with you how I made this background on this card. It's made with using the glossy white paper and some Reinkers and a technique that's called the straw blowing technique. Let's get started. So excited to show you this. First, I like to start with a piece of glossy white paper. You do get 25 sheets in the pack, and if you cut it at 2 3/4 by 3 3/4, you can get approximately 9 of this size of embellishments out of one sheet. So you can really stretch that using this size. Then you're going to need a variety of Reinkers and just some everyday straws. So nothing special on the straws. And I found that definitely a little bit of dado on our work surface here helps to keep it on, because with this straw we are going to be blowing the Reinkers around and the paper can tend to move. Alrighty, so what we're going to do is we're going to actually make a card using this one that I've done previously, and I'll show you how I got this effect. Each one's going to be different, I'll warn you, so definitely a one-of-a-kind card when you get done. Alrighty, for this particular look here, I have the 3 Reinkers. This is Pool Party, Island Indigo, and Lucky Limeade. And I've seen some other tutorials where they say to use lightest to darkest, and I don't really think it matters that much. So I'm just going to play around and you can see what you think. But I'll go ahead on this one here, and I'm going to start with the Pool Party. And really what I should say is they like to use the last step with the darkest, but I'll show you what this is going to look like. Okay, so I've got a couple of drops on the Reinker. I'm going to take my straw and blow through it and move the ink around on my paper. So just as much or as little as what you want to move your ink around. Next, I think I'm going to take the Island Indigo, put another couple of drops on it, do the same thing, take my straw and blow the ink around. I like to kind of blow it in there and get it all mixed together a little bit. And lastly, I'm going to take my Lucky Limeade, and which is, maybe arguably just a little lighter than the Island Indigo, but this is going to be my top layer that I'm going to put on and then use it to spread the ink around. Okay? So I've got that. And again, I'm going to go ahead and move this around a little bit. Okay, I'm going to come back with my Lucky Limeade on this particular example here and kind of basically fill in the dots where there's some white left showing. And now taking the side of my straw, I'm going to use it like a spatula in a way and just move that ink around. Gonna get it so that it goes all the way from edge to edge. Don't you just love it? So pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna move this off to the side, and I'm gonna grab some tissues and we're gonna blot. Gonna blot some of this ink up. And now I'm also going to take the tissues and kind of rub to reveal some of the layering colors. Okay, so pretty. So now when I peel this up, I've got a little one-of-a-kind artwork. And you'll need to let that dry for, I always let it dry for a couple of hours just to be sure. So again, here's like another one. I tried some more faint colors. here's the one that we're going to be using today. Why don't we do just one more, just so that you can see it one more time. Move the camera over here. Got a new straw. Should have some baby wipes handy to get the ink off of my fingers, but let's try some with some lighter tones. So on this one, we're going to use Calypso Coral, Wisteria Wonder, and Tangerine Tango. And again, it doesn't really matter what reinker that you're using. It's just totally, you know, a work of art each and every time. Okay, so again, I'm going to move these around. And let's try some Calypso Coral. A couple of drops of that. I will warn you, you can get lightheaded if you are blowing a little too hard or long on it. So cool. And again, I'm going to have some Tangerine Tango. And on this one, I'm not going to use the straw technique to blow it. I'm just going to go ahead and use the orange to rub through. My gosh. Just love it. Love it, love it. Okay, go ahead and I'll grab some more tissues and I'll blot some of that off. And then I'm going to turn right around and kind of, it's rubbing it off and rubbing it in at the same time. All right. So again, just play around with your reinkers or maybe order them for the first time and see what you have. So I'll go ahead and clean this up and let's make a card with what we used. So I've gone ahead and using Stays on Black, I've stamped this image here from Lace and Lovely, and I did trim down my little straw blowing technique glossy white creation down. I cut it to 2.5 by 3.5, and the basic black is layered at 2 5/8 by 3 5/8. And now I'm going to layer this piece onto Island Indigo. And that's going to be cut at 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. Get that all matted. Something about doing a double mat that really just sets off the card. Taking a piece of 4 by 5 1/4 piece of Pool Party and ran it through an embossing folder, taped some Island Indigo ruffled ribbon on the bottom. And now using some Tombow, going to put a little line on it. I like using Tombow with the embossed layering pieces. It just, you know, will find a home to stick to basically. Okay, so we'll layer that onto our card base of Island Indigo. So pretty. Okay, now using some dimensions. Put that on our creation. I just love this one-of-a-kind look on this straw technique, don't you guys? I've had the glossy white in my stash for quite some time, and I just haven't, I guess, played with it yet. And when I had come across this technique, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have it on hand, and I just can't wait to see what I can create. So it's a pretty good size embellishment piece, so you know, don't be chintzy on your dimensionals. And we'll get that on here. I've got still in the same stamp set, the Sentiment Hello, and I stamped the sentiment with Stays on Black, punched it out with the 1 3/8 circle, or I'm sorry, 1 3/4 inch circle, and then layered it on the scallop circle. Got some more dimensionals. And we've got our card. So that's how you can use your glossy white paper and the Reinkers to create even more of a one-of-a-kind original. Thanks for watching, everybody, and happy crafting. Bye-bye.